This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? It's time for the mailbag. Likely a very short one here on this Valentine's Day, the 14th day of February 2025. I hope all of you are enjoying your Valentine's Day or did enjoy your Valentine's Day, whether you are by yourself, with a significant other, or with a pet, whatever the case is. I hope you enjoyed your day. And we're going to get rolling here with the mailbag. I want to just quickly let you know, as we get closer to Elimination Chamber, if you guys want to interact with other patrons of this show or other supporters, or just most importantly, lovers of pro wrestling, the best way to do that is Patreon and get all of your ad-free shows and exclusive shows like the After Dark show over at patreon.com/WWE podcast. Okay. Well, the email list is short tonight, so this should be a quick show, and let's dive right into it. So let's go to DJ. Why not? Let's do something different. Start with DJ. And he says, let me quickly get to what I have to say before I fall asleep at the computer, and hopefully this email makes it in time for the mailbag. Unlike WrestleMania 40, being mostly focused on Cody, quote, finishing his story and ending Roman's reign, no pun intended, who do you think is the main focus for this year's WrestleMania? Because to me, it seems kind of unpredictable. Outside of Jay most likely winning the world title and Charlotte likely winning both women's championships in some sort of winner-take-all fatal four-way with her, Tiffany, Rhea, and the possible winner for the women's chamber being Liv Morgan. Great question, DJ. One that is just kind of the million-dollar question for this year's WrestleMania that, if it was booked today, does not, I'll be honest with you, is not that exciting from a star power perspective. Okay, you have John Cena. You have Punk. So we're spoiled wrestling fans. There is no Rock as of this moment, and doesn't look like there will be. There's no Austin. The heel isn't really in play. There's no Brock Lesnar. He's fading quickly. Edge obviously went to AEW. Taker's retired. Randy Orton probably will be on the card, so we keep forgetting about Randy Orton, who hopefully will be back in time for WrestleMania, and I think he will be. This is a very interesting WrestleMania, again, in that the top two programs aren't that exciting. And I know people like Jay, support Jay. I don't think most people expected Jay to be in this position, so his story is kind of ho-hum. It's not a bad one. It is very, as the kids say, mid. And on the Cody Rhodes side, sure, you've got Cena, you've got potentially Punk, and hopefully Rollins versus Reigns in a solo one-on-one match. I don't mean with Solo Sikoa, I mean just one-on-one. Rollins, Reigns, grudge match, story, Punk versus Cena, and maybe you have Orton versus Cody Rhodes. That's how I would book it. To me, that's much more exciting. Now that you forget about Drew McIntyre, what's Drew McIntyre going to do? You could swap in Drew and Cody. I'm sorry, Drew and Orton. But Orton and Cody have such a deep history that we're all waiting to see. And Orton turning heel is always the best version of Orton. So you could even make that a triple threat. I don't like triple threats generally as a rule of thumb for WrestleMania main events. But in this case, I think you can make an exception where you have Drew versus Randy versus Cody in a WrestleMania main event here. But how you get there, I don't know, given the fact there's only one winner of the chamber, and it's always been one winner of the chamber. It is a weird focal point for WWE, but here's the one thing I will say about this WrestleMania. While on paper it is very mid, the idea that wrestling is always built on stars is true, but there's always not going to be big stars around because there's something called a star building process. And I think we're in that right now. we're in that star building process where, okay, you may not have the biggest stars that you would hope for available for WrestleMania 41. You don't seemingly have a stacked card like you did last year. But this is the part where as fans we have to go, okay, you know what? Every WrestleMania can't be Stone Cold versus The Rock. Every WrestleMania can't be, Cody and Roman with the finishing of the story. Every WrestleMania can't have, back in the day, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. Undertaker's gone. You have to understand that WrestleManias at some point are going to come. There's going to come a point where that star power, that name brand value that we're used to seeing, that marquee name or marquee names on a regular basis, every single WrestleMania that you see, may not happen. And I think we're reaching that point now. We're reaching that point where even the Attitude Era stars or the Ruthless Aggression stars are fading away. So I think this could be a bit of a reset of a WrestleMania where, okay, we have to understand there are newer stars that they're trying to put a focus on. All right, point number 2. Don't forget Cena probably winning the Elimination Chamber, but who does he face? And CM Punk finally applying the favor from Heyman at the last minute for WrestleMania 41. Could that be a possibility? Yeah, that could be. That could absolutely be a possibility where Punk is the final piece put in together where he cashes in the chips from Paul Heyman, and that's the favor as he gets a title match. Sure, that's the logical one. Like, what else? Honestly, everyone's trying to pretend they don't know what this is. Like, what else could the favor possibly be? What else? Because what else can't Punk do on his own that he needs Heyman to do? What is Punk so unable to do that he's going to have to require Paul Heyman's assistance to do it? There's very few things. In fact, I would argue in reality, there's nothing. Why? Because all Punk has to do is just the golden rule, attack the champion, and you are rewarded with a championship match. You don't believe me? Go watch every single program that has started that way. The person who is the assailant gets rewarded with a championship match. Of course, we're supposed to put that aside. It's not a part of the pro wrestling narrative, but it's true. But outside of that, even taking that away, there's nothing that Punk can't do that he needs Heyman's assistance with outside of, okay, fine, I'll believe that he can't get a championship match without Heyman. So there's nothing else. If he wants a match with somebody and it's a non-champion, well, he can just do that. Plus, Punk has made it very clear that his goal is a WrestleMania main event. So if he doesn't cash in his chips for a WrestleMania main event with Heyman, then his cashing in of the favor makes no sense, because if that's the only thing he wants to achieve and he can have Paul Heyman do that, then why wouldn't he do that? Now, if he's going to be a babyface, he has to do it in a way that makes it look like he's not trying to take the easy way out or the easy way in, as the case may be. But we have to have Punk do this wisely. And the wise thing is to have the wise man use his political powers to get him a championship match, whether it's inserting himself into a triple threat or a one-on-one somehow, even though that actually can't happen given the fact that Cody's going to have an opponent at the end of the chamber. And if it's not Punk, then you're going to have a triple threat. So it's getting a little muddy. There's a lot of possibilities. And I know people, again, are looking down at this WrestleMania compared to others and going, there's no clear story. There's no clear. And I think maybe that's also the other thing, other than marquee star power that people are so used to seeing and coming up to WrestleMania, the idea that you have these big story arcs that are about to conclude or peak at WrestleMania. That's not the case this year. There's not a lot this year that you go, oh man, I can't wait for that to, for this guy to beat this. It doesn't really exist this year on top of it. The stories are just starting to form. It doesn't feel like a long story arc ready to explode at WrestleMania. One other thing you mentioned about the Fatal 4-Way Charlotte winner take all, I know that's been floated around by Busted Open Radio and Bully Ray and all that. While I don't disagree with it on its principle that putting Charlotte as a double champion would inflate the fans to a nuclear level, and I would love to see it, I think that you have to understand what you're sacrificing to do that. And that is, number one, you're putting the women's championships back together. Unless you're going to keep them separate and have Charlotte do double duty, it's going to get messy. So if you're essentially unifying them, then that kind of undoes what you just did a couple of years ago by creating a women's world title and WWE Women's Championship. I'm not a fan, because the idea right now is to give more championships to the women, not less, which I actually don't agree with, just on principle, because more of something means everything that is there is now worth less. But if that's the case, it kind of undercuts what they're trying to achieve right now. Plus, you're taking away a championship from Rhea Ripley, and she has I think, a date with Destiny with Bianca Belair. I mean, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. I don't need to see Rhea and Charlotte again. I don't need to see Rhea and Liv again. I don't need to. None of that interests me. To me, while I understand the premise and I wouldn't hate it, I think there's a Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley main event waiting right there. All right. Third point. The ship has probably sailed that Rock Roman is not happening at WrestleMania. But can Seth versus Roman become one of the most personal former friends feuds since my personal favorite all time of HBK Triple H during the 2000s? Well, yeah, it can if they actually commit to the damn thing. How many start-stops of this program of Rollins and Reigns have we seen over the last 8 years? I mean, ever since the turn, they had a little bit of a program, but it quickly kind of shifted elsewhere. Dean Ambrose, and then Dean Ambrose leaves and goes to AEW, and John Moxley now. But there hasn't been a true, long-standing, well-thought-out, proper program with these two. Now, is it going to be to the level of Triple H HBK? I don't think so. That's a elite level program with two elite guys. And I'm not saying Roman and Seth aren't elite, but they're not Triple H HBK. And that's no insult, but they worked so well together. It was crazy. I mean, it was just kind of scary crazy how well Triple H and HBK wrestled. I mean, every time they got in the ring, it was must see. They didn't need to do flip flops and flies. They just used good old fashioned, wrestling psychology, nice pacing, not 1,000 miles an hour, which is unfortunately today's style. Again, not my favorite, but it is what it is today. I don't think it's going to reach that level, but at least it could be in the conversation for that. But I don't know anyone that feels like this program's complete. There's so much left to tell. The promos themselves, the video packages you could pull, the interviews you could do, the backstage, the sit-down interviews. It's a crazy amount of content for something that happened. I think it was 8 years ago, maybe more. So, yes, give me Seth Roman one-on-one. I don't need Punk in there. I don't need John Cena in there. The reason is also, if you're going to have a triple threat for just pride, and bring in a guy like Punk or Cena for some weird reason to put themselves in there, what are they achieving here? Just to say, I win. The program is Rollins Reigns. End of story. If you're going to do a personal feud, personal feuds are one-on-one. It's this guy's issues versus this guy's issues, not this guy and this guy and this guy's issues. That's a weird thing to do at WrestleMania. With nothing on the line, with three guys. It doesn't fit the dynamic. It's Rollins and it's Reigns. Anybody else would feel like a third wheel. And finally, can you make the case for Solo Sikoa to beat Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed title at Elimination Chamber due to the interference of probably both KO and a newly turned Sami Zayn because newly heel turned Sami Zayn because I think it is. Anyway, that's all for now. Have a great weekend, everyone. DJ Kuzma signing off. So, DJ, I mean, it's possible, but I will say, and I said this at the end of WrestleMania last year, even before that, when we all knew Cody was probably going to win, Cody was anointed as the face of the new era. I mean, you had everybody come out there. Triple H, half the locker room, Samantha Irvin was in tears. Everybody loved Cody, I mean, with the exception of me and a couple others. You're not going to have Cody lose the belt before WrestleMania this year. It was minimum 1 year. And then you can start to talk about Cody losing the belt. Maybe even at WrestleMania. Maybe, depending on who his opponent is. It could be Randy. Could be Punk. It could be Drew. I think those are really the three that you look at. Or it could be some weird triple threat with Cena, Punk, and Cody. Sure. But I don't think that Solo. So can I make the case? Sure, I can make. Here's the case: Solo Sikoa wins, and then you have for sure you have some kind of fatal four-way elimination style, a la WrestleMania 2000, i.e. WrestleMania 16, where it's at that time it was what Big Show, Rock, Triple H, Mankind. Did I get that right? And all a McMahon in each corner. Remember that? And it ended up being that all the McMahons were in cahoots. No Austin for that WrestleMania because of his injury. Or at least he went to go get surgery, so he was out until that following September. But this, again, that's the only case you could make is he's going to win it to create a fatal four-way. But then what, to just drop it at WrestleMania? You think really, it's so hard for me to make a case for this because it's so improbable. Because you're going to have him retain at WrestleMania? I mean, are we really building around Solo Sikoa, a guy that has been overshadowed very quickly by his brethren? Right? I mean, I don't think so. The Werewolf is already ahead of him in terms of star power. Incredibly. In terms of the fan support. In terms of who the fans want. It's not Solo. It's not Solo. So I will say that. Now, it's hard for me to make a case for that. It's almost, for me, impossible. But hey, I was totally wrong the last time when you said Jey Uso would win, so what do I know? All right. Let's go to another patron here. I know we got more. A couple more, maybe. Let's check out Alex, the French guy. And he says, hello, I heard that Drew was complaining about his WrestleMania plans, allegedly with Damian Priest, story-wise, or something else. I couldn't agree more with Drew on his take. He is the superstar of the year 2024. He is the most talented guy on the roster right now. He deserves Cody at WrestleMania and deserves the title. That would make sense, or have him lose and attack Reigns to achieve final vengeance. If Drew goes against Damian Priest, no disrespect to Damian, he was a former world champion and did a above expectation job of being world champion. Drew does not deserve Damian Priest, or Damian Priest doesn't deserve Drew, is probably the better way to phrase it. That doesn't make any sense at all. See, that's the kind of match. Sure, they could end up having a really good match, and people are like, oh, wow, that was better than I thought. But fans aren't going to emotionally get into this match. How? I mean, what are we going to do here with Drew? Drew and Damian for what? I don't know. I could eat my words and their program exceeds expectations, but what's the story here? What's the story? Sure, when he was in Judgment Day, Drew, at one point Drew was a babyface and they were screwing with Drew. What are we doing? I don't know. It feels like just two guys that don't have a path that they want to put together that are bigger stars, specifically more Drew than Damian. Fans, you took a vote on that. Fans would vote this one down immediately. I agree. Cody and Drew, much more deserving. So, thanks, Alex. All right. I think we have another email floating around here. And this one is from Kay. Kay says, hey, Matt, sorry for my rant on Friday, but it was needed. Been a wrestling fan for over 50 years, and yeah, I know. 50 years? My God. All right, so you have me beat by 20. All right. On Monday, Gunther interrupting the Yeet nonsense was brilliant. But Gunther is done at WrestleMania. He is so good, but money talks. But if he's so good, then why are we advocating for him to lose the belt? I feel like it's an incomplete run. It's like he got half his story in. Barely. He doesn't compete on Raw very much. You don't see him in a ton of promos. He has been on and off Raw, in a program, coming out in his suit, doing, talking with Jay or calling people street trash or whatever, and it's been fun. But Gunther, we haven't seen the best of him yet. I still feel like there's some of him being held back. I don't know. I'm not ready for him to drop the belt to anyone, for that matter. There's really not a guy on the roster, not one. I don't care if it was on SmackDown too, that I would want to take the belt from Gunther. No one. I mean, like, think about this too. Gunther was the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. 667 days, whatever it was, 666 days. And you knew that was really a promotion once he lost it. It was a promotion to move into the world title picture, and it was. He wins it. And you're thinking, oh my God, here we go. Not that it's going to be another 2-year reign, but you're thinking, all right, solid reign, at least maybe through WrestleMania. And if he drops it at WrestleMania, it's going to be someone big. Is Jey Uso really, does he really fit the resume that you're looking to have Gunther lose to? I just don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me. Would I lose my mind over it? No, I wouldn't lose my mind. It's just he's not the guy. Or at least, again, here's what I would say splitting the difference. They have an amazing match. It goes 20 minutes, 25 minutes even. And they're having one of the best WrestleMania matches in years. Again, incredibly high bar. But this, in my perfect world, this is how it would go. Where somebody unexpected comes out to help Gunther. Maybe he didn't ask for the help. Maybe he did, whatever. But Jay has him on the ropes. They're going to do 454 finishers here in this match to make it more exciting, which I don't agree with. But I would have somebody come out and ultimately be the deciding factor where Gunther retains, but Jay he could have beaten Gunther. So Gunther retains, but Jay comes out still looking very strong. That's my take on that. That's what I would do. And here's what I would also start doing just generally in matches, especially long matches. How about we don't see a finish until like the last move set? I don't need to finish in the beginning, in the middle, in the semi-end. How about it's just, imagine going 20 minutes without even teasing a finisher. Imagine that. Not even teasing a finish. No false finishes, no kickouts of finishes. You don't hit a finish until it's actually, time to finish the match. So, all right. Anyway, this is not going to happen, but. Okay, number 2. I am not a fan of AJ, but that promo with Dom, the douche, was 10 out of 10. Yeah, AJ's good. AJ trips over his words like I do a lot, but he's good. And there's still some gas left in the tank, not enough to make him the face of the company ever again or make him even a world champion at any point. Probably not. But boy, he is good to just still have a kick-ass match with. And if you want somebody to get a little shine from a major star and have them work with a absolute professional, he's the guy. Yeah, I mean, AJ Styles is the guy. Could he go on a small run with the IC or US title? He could. Sure. But I think right now AJ's he's in the sunset of his career. He is, and that's fine. He still looks like $1 million. Still can wrestle pretty damn well. But he's just not the focal point of the company. At least I don't think he will be again. What are they doing with Braun Breaker? He is awesome. I don't know. They're too busy putting cowboy hats on him, I guess. Seeing, maybe trying him out for a new gimmick. Maybe Jimmy Wang Yang, team up with him. Those of you who understood that joke, you go back with me here. Jimmy Wang Yang. Anybody else remember that guy? I think he was on SmackDown back in the day. Back in the early Ruthless Aggression era. Pretty sure he was him. Well, or here's another weird gimmick. Paul Burchill was a pirate. Remember he came in swinging on a rope? Mordecai comes out being the wannabe Undertaker. Trying to think of some others. Heidenreich. That era. Yeah, that era. Heidenreich. Oh my God. Yeah. I can come up with some others, but those are some names. If you've gone back, you probably haven't heard in a long time. Nothing else interests me, but why did the Loser Day attack on Ray wholly build up Batman to them losing to the LWO boring? I don't know. The New Day needs some help. You know what they need? They need Big E. The New Day need Big E. Because that's what we're all waiting for. They have a fiery promo. The talk of the entire week or weeks for WWE. And you're thinking, oh my God, okay, they're setting them up for the Royal Rumble, a Royal Rumble return leading into a WrestleMania match. And nope. Big E's still doing the pregame show. Just like nothing happened. Nope. I don't know. So now Big E still could make a return. The Elimination Chamber still exists. Weeks after still exist. But it's certainly it's certainly not looking great for a Big E return right now. Hopefully that changes. But that's what you're looking for to heat this back up. Thank you, Kay. All right. I think that does it for the emails, everybody. So I will, let's see. I know I got two voicemails. So let's get to those voicemails right now.
This is DJ Kuzmo back at it again on your Mailbag show. Record you live on a Wednesday morning, and you know what time it is. It's time to
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
That's right, folks. Joe Hendry is his name as I take it to my 31st episode of the Joe Hendry Report. And like always, coming to you live from an undisclosed location. Like I mentioned last week, Joe Hendry made an appearance at the Royal Rumble, coming in at number 15 and lasting 3 minutes and 35 seconds. But there was 70,000 fans, over 70,000 WWE fans were singing along to Joe Hendry's music. So this was the big exposure that Joe Hendry got on a big platform, on a big stage like the Royal Rumble. So this was a great moment for Joe Hendry. This was a great moment for TNA, as this is the possibility that we can see Joe Hendry make another appearance at another WWE PLE or at another WWE show, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. Anyway, let's take it to what took place this past Thursday on an episode of TNA Pro Wrestling, as Joe Hendry had a concert. But not just any concert, he had a championship concert, as he's still celebrating his championship win from a couple of weeks ago from TNA Genesis when he became the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Now, he had a couple of songs. One of them was a cover song similar to the song We Are the Champions by Queen, as the name of that song was called Hendry is the Champion. And it goes something like this. I'll do it to the best of my ability. Hendry is the champion, my friends. And he'll be the champion to the end. Hendry is the champion. Hendry is the champion. No time for losers. Hendry is the champion of the world. And then that was the first song. The second song was a little bit of an original, as it was called Hendry, Joe Hendry won the belt. And it goes something like this. Joe Hendry won the belt. Oh, Joe Hendry won the belt. And during the course of that song, here is the kicker, my friends. I guess he kind of got a cue from Elias, because every time when Elias does a concert, he gets interrupted. And he did a part of the verse that says, this is the part of the song when an upcoming challenger cuts me off and in the middle of my concert. And then all of a sudden, here comes a TNA wrestler by the name of Jake something, coming in at 6'2", 262 pounds, a monster of a man, kind of similar to Braun Strowman. But anyway, he comes in to interrupt Joe Hendry's championship concert by seeking a championship opportunity to face Joe Hendry for the TNA World Championship next week on an episode of TNA Pro Wrestling. And of course, Joe Hendry, as the fighting champion that he is, he says, I accept in his singing voice. So anyway, next week on TNA Pro Wrestling, we're going to have Joe Hendry versus Jake something for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. That's all for today, folks, as I'm going to have this short episode for the Joe Hendry Report. And like always remember to believe, say his name, always remember the words that Joe Hendry says, any place, anytime, and any show. And most importantly, always remember to do this.
Wave your hands from side to side and say, oh, I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is so prestigious.
Once again, this is your guy, DJ Kuzmo. Have a blessed week. Be kind to one another. Stay safe, my friends. Believe and peace.
DJ, I'm pretty sure I don't have a record of since this show started, and I've actually been podcasting for 10 years, 4 years under a different name, and 8 years under this name, or 6 to 8 years under this name. I don't think anyone's ever sung on this show. I'm pretty sure that's a first. I know for you it's a first, and I've taken a lot of voicemails. I used to do live shows. I don't think I've ever had anybody sing on the show. So congratulations on that. Thank you for the update. I actually had to go back as you were talking because I was looking to see what's going on in TNA, and I watched the actual TNA Impact, at least the segment with Joe Hendry, where Santino Marella attacked Joe Hendry after Joe Hendry versus, I had to look this up, Jake something. And I thought at first, I'm like, what do you mean Jake something? I'm like, well, you don't know his last name? And so I had to go back and look. I'm like, no, that's actually his name. His last name is something. So Jake something. That's a pretty funny name here. And so anyway, thank you for keeping me updated. Thank you for this, for the song. Thank you for the actual match we're going to get next week with Joe Hendry and his eventual massive debut into WWE full time, which we all know is coming. It was a test case, test the waters, see what his reaction is from fans, and it, I think, beyond exceeded expectations. For if I'm WWE management, I'm elated. With the reaction that WWE fans gave Hendry, even if he was on the Rumble for 3 minutes, that's fine. Massive moment. He got to wrestle Roman Reigns for a little bit. It's as big of an exposure as you can get if you're a star, and to see where the fans land, and if WWE is thinking to themselves, okay, do the fans even know who this guy is? And clearly they do. He was in NXT for a hot minute, been back to TNA, but TNA and WWE's relationship, they have a very good working relationship. This is going to benefit not just TNA, but of course Joe Hendry when he eventually lands in WWE full time. So thank you for the update. We'll have to see. The key here is going to be this, and it's not 100% of the time, but it's a overwhelming amount of the time, probably in the 90s, where the person, when they're moving on, not just in divisions, like, okay, I lose the IC, like Gunther did, it's a sign he's going into the world title picture. It's like promotion by losing the belt, which is weird. But especially when you're moving promotions, like if you're leaving to go to AEW, or you're going from AEW to potentially back to WWE, which there hasn't been too many of, but some, or in this case TNA to WWE, the key is to look out when Hendry drops the TNA world title. Now, I don't know what his contract is with TNA, how long it lasts, but I would keep an eye out for when he drops that belt. It could be a very good sign that he's imminently about to debut in WWE for real. So keep that in mind. I think we all should as we move on. Thank you, DJ. And let's get to, I think, our final voicemail, and we'll call it a night. And actually, as I just listened to it off the air, it's Alex the French guy. And Alex the French guy, let me give you a sample again, just so you don't think I'm BSing you. Let me let you, just for a few moments, everybody, bear with me. I'll just want to show you, so to prove to you, this is the voice quality I got. So this is why I can't play it.
Alex the French guy here, your current European champion. Matt, I wanted to address you on something, not address, but just to explain a little bit more the passion of the French.
So, yeah. I don't know what you're going to address me on. Maybe my comments about, I'm going to guess, I didn't listen to the rest of your voicemail because it's hard to listen to. I mean, with a bad connection, nobody wants to listen. Nothing against you, just generally, right? I'm going to guess it has something to do with my comments about men showing emotion, or I could be wrong, because I got a lot of comments about that, and which is, expected. But if it wasn't, cool too. I invite you to call back, retry the connection, and I'll be happy to play it next week. So there we go. I told you, a bit of a shorter voicemail email segment here tonight on the show. That does allow me to go and look at any other things that are going on in WWE, any other news. And let's see here. I don't see anything crazy. We did get Michelle McCool, who got nominated for the Hall of Fame. She's been selected to be in the Hall of Fame. No. I'm sorry. No, I don't care if she's the wife of Mark Calloway. I don't care. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. It probably had a small part. But Michelle McCool in the Hall of Fame. Can the fans vote on this? I mean, I know there's problems with that too, but I don't understand what their metrics are. What are their qualifications again for being in the Hall of Fame? What are they? And if there aren't any, what are the intangible ones? Like, okay, fine. You can't tell me they have to reach this threshold, because that's difficult to do. You have to be a former world champion of this many times. Like, that's preposterous, right? Like, it's all intangible metrics that they use. Fine. Explain the intangibles then. They had a connection with the fans. They had a long-lasting connection. Well, who says? Who says they did? Did you talk to the fans who actually supported this person? Or is that your perception? I'm sorry. Michelle McCool, and this is, again, I know there's a celebrity wing and Drew Carey's in it. Fine. That's all fine. But Michelle McCool, I don't feel it. With Lay Cool? What? I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? Remember Layla and Michelle McCool? The only thing they did that I remember, outside of being just insanely obnoxious to the point of like not even watchable, like, it's the heat that you just go, I don't even want to watch them, so I change the channel. It's not the heat that you go, oh my God, I want to see somebody beat them up. It's the heat you just like, no, I don't want to watch them get pretend beat up. I just don't even want to watch. That's the difference. And people sometimes don't understand the difference between, see, no, they're really annoying you. Does it really annoy you? Is the goal for the company to make you change the channel? Or in this case, you can't change the channel anymore. You change what you're watching on Netflix? No. So some people, I try to always decipher that. But my point is, really? What? I know she was a tag team. She's a former women's champion. Are we just going to induct everybody that we just remember? Like anybody that you're just like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that person. Oh, since I remembered them, let's put them in the Hall of Fame. I don't get it. Now, I know The Undertaker would probably find a way because it's his wife and he should defend her. But if you're looking at this objectively from, a macro view, what? Really? I mean, are the standards, no disrespect, although it kind of is, are the other standards this low that we're going to put Michelle McCool in the Hall of Fame? I mean, at this point, are we just trying to fill quotas? Is that what we're doing? That's the problem with doing the Hall of Fame every year, and they have a class they have to do. That tells you they have to find people to put in. But the Hall of Fame shouldn't be dictated by the year. It should be dictated by the talent that are available that deserve to go in. And you can't tell me every year that there's like 15 people that deserve to go in. It's not. I don't know. I could, maybe somebody will come up here and give me a real explanation as to why Michelle McCool deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. Sorry, Michelle. If you're listening to this, listen. My Hall of Fame standards are just a lot higher because it's the Hall of Fame. Like, you're reaching legend status. You're really going to tell me you're a legend? Yeah, sorry. I don't buy a single bit of that. Nothing against you personally, just professionally. Again, tell me exactly why you're a legend. I don't know. So I don't understand. Anyway, So I'll leave it at that. But some exciting stuff coming up, guys. I hope everyone's feeling well, not getting sick, and right in the heart of flu season and all that. So I hope everyone's doing well. Hope you have a great Valentine's Day, and I think the next holiday is St. Patrick's Day, and then after that it's Easter if you celebrate it, and then Memorial Day. So we're cranking along here. February's halfway over. And if you live in the northern part of the country, you are grateful that it's heading to March and April. Let me just tell you that. So, all right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. If you want to go on Patreon, you want to get everything ad-free, patreon.com/WWE podcast. Great way to go and get an ad-free experience, exclusive show, and a Discord server you can be involved in. All right. Thanks, everybody, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.